Hi, it is the 1st of March 2013, and the time is approximately 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what I'm doing with my setup still. Instead of on a tambourine, you guys are on a drum. Like one of those ones that go like that. Or that. Yeah, this netbook, Nettie, has continued to persevere. She's getting old though. Over about over 4 years old, so she's a good computer. Okay, this isn't about her though. Her. Why is she? It is a computer. You know what, guys? There are good things happening, no things happening, and some stuff happening. Some things. Yeah, I have stuff to catch up on with you guys. Okay, so I'm sure those who watched the last video or two are curious about how things turned out for me when I went to the tribunal. And I wanted to let you guys know. But first, no, I'm kidding. I'm just nervous about getting into it because I had something really positive happen. Now I can't see myself, so I'm scared. But I'm going to go through the comments via my email, and I'm going to go in backwards order. First of all, I want to let you guys know that I went to the hearing. Wait, I'll answer. Bonnie said on A Dream and a Waking Nightmare, that's the video that the comments are response to. Definitely get organized, take the misrepresentations of that person from the last appeal, and answer the inaccuracies with specifics, and organize your documentation so you can cite it and produce it at the hearing. I read your blog and you are right. They should have hired you to write because you write so very well. Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie. You're awesome. Try to keep your focus. I'm proud of you seeing this through to the very end. You have much strength considering all you've gone through. I'll be thinking of you as the month passes. Hi! I just wanted to tell you really quickly that I got approved or something. I got a blogging Canadian web blog nomination thing, which you don't have to get votes or solicit votes, which is good because I'm not sure that I don't have enough reader base to get votes, but there's a jury panel, and it goes on. It's not based on what already has been written. It goes up until like October, I think. So it's a good incentive for me to keep doing as I've been doing. There's no prize that I believe except the button that says winner. But the fact is that there's a readership, and it's on Twitter and blogging, and then and they're gonna read my blog, and then blog. It's a good thing. It sounds like it doesn't mean anything, but I'm pretty excited about it. And I wanted to let you know, because I got the email today about it. And I have a button on my blog now. Blog. So, and I'm entered into a couple categories, photography and life. So, I can do those two things. Unless I die or something happens to my camera. Okay, just so I let you know, how about you? Did you get your card? Do you... Really? Is that a positive thing? Oh, you did that on purpose, didn't you? No, that's awesome. Okay, well, that's great. Is that good? No, that's great. That's good. Good then. So we both have good news. You're going on a regular schedule. That's good. That's healthy for you. That means I have to let you sleep. Okay. Bye. Bye. I don't know. Am I gonna, like, edit that out? Part of it? Okay. What I want to say to Bonnie's comment, going back, is, oh, I keep playing with the pen. That's annoying. Oh, that happened during the thing. I kept, tapping the table like this. Not like I'm bored, but as in, like, yeah, I don't know. It was, the lawyer on the opposite side pointed to how annoying that it was, and that was not good. But I did it again because it was an anxious tick kind of thing, and he ended up smiling, which is kind of neat. I guess. I mean, because saw that I didn't mean it, and I couldn't help it, and I don't know. It was kind of one of those things. Okay, so in that video, if you go back and watch, people, but you don't have to, because I went on and on, like I'm probably going on and on now. I had this idea that I would take all that paperwork that I have, and literally there's stacks of it, like, and I was gonna go through that, my journals and everything, and tell the story of the person who has been affected by this, me, for about the past almost 15 years, right? And I had that idea, right, of doing a rough timeline. But when it came to the paperwork, I mean, I sat down to it once, and it was just, I was a wreck, a mental wreck. I was overwhelmed, and I was upset. I was upset for the same reason I ended up being upset at the tribunal at the end. It's just devastating and embarrassing to think that all those years, like, this all happened during those years, or I tried to end it all those years, and different things that happened, or if only different decisions had been made on the part of the company, w.s.i.b, even myself. Like, if I had known better, if I hadn't been naive, if I had been knowledgeable about the process, if I had been capable of having the resources, so many different decisions or things that could have been made. And it's heartbreaking. Honestly, it's heartbreaking when you see your life on a dining room table, and a big majority of it. Now, I have learned, at least in the past year for sure, or in the past, I don't know when it clicked finally in my head, but that is not my entire life. It's a big part of it, and it's a part of it that I definitely am going to compose into a book. I'm going to make a book or a zine or a self-published whatever. I'm going to make something of it, whether it becomes something that's not what it's about. It's about compiling it and offering it out into the world so that people can learn from what I went through and maybe understand it a little more from different perspectives. So I don't know when I'll be mentally ready to do that. Obviously, I still have 1 to 4 months or longer to wait for the final decision, which is probably going to be no. And then, depending on what happens there, then, I need to, right now, my focus is on part of what Bonnie's comment was, which was that I saw it through. And that's what I did. I saw it through. I showed up, I traveled to Toronto, and I went there, and it was expensive, and it was at a bad time economically and everything, and I was a horrible mess prior to it and such. But I went to it. I went through everything I've been through for however many years in this whole process, and I made it to the final fight. You know, like, I can't fit it properly because a certain weight that appeared on me magically. But I had underneath my sweater, I was wearing my Rocky t-shirt. And it's just like something like You Rock My World or whatever, or Rock My World. But the point of it for me was Rocky, which I'm not like a Rocky film fan. I actually pretty much only saw Rocky Balboa and really loved part of it. But I think the whole concept of him mostly was that he kept fighting even though he'd lose or something. I don't know. Maybe I totally... Well, that's how I'm going to interpret it. That it was more about, he won in one of the movies? I don't know. The whole idea is just to keep fighting, right? And even if I wasn't going to win, I needed to see this to the end. I had no choice but to see it to the end, but also I wanted to, finally. And I followed through, and that's the important thing. And even the representative for me was, like, really proud of me. And she said so, because she knew, she had read my file and knew what I'd been through, and just the extensive and the years, and, it was, it was very important that regardless, I made it through it. So, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Like I said, I got overwhelmed at my table, and I couldn't sort the paperwork for that. But it turns out that was for the best. If I had shown up with prepared notes and been all professional about it, I don't even think I could have kept myself composed for it. But that wasn't what it was. There was a process to it, and which I was spoken to about with my with the person who represented me. It's a hearing. There's 3 people on that side, a workers representative of Ontario, an employers representative of Ontario, and in the middle a lawyer. And then on this side of the table was me and my rep. They had files, but they were like binded of my files, and then they had their documentation, and they had to deal with that, and I was the only one that didn't have that. I didn't have anything, and it was about me answering questions that was asked, which I felt like I frigged up, like I forgot stuff, or different things didn't come to mind, or things came to mind like yesterday, like 2 days or so after the fact, where I'm like, this was something that wasn't, mentioned that I knew of. But, it's for the best, because honestly, I know at least one of them had their mind made up before, regardless of whether I could note something or not. It was, you could see that. So, I answered questions, I swore an oath and gave testimony, and my representative made her case pointed out things in the files that they have, or whatever, the books, their books of my things that were relevant to what she was arguing for, and to back up that. And then that was it. There was a time in the process where, after the break, where the lawyer came back and asked me a question. I didn't quite understand what he meant, because I figured he was pretty much asking me option D, which was that I don't win, which I knew and know is the big possibility that I won't get anything, that I'll get a no. But his question was actually was completely different than that, and I had a moment to be able to speak with my representative, and she cleared that up for me, and it was something interesting, because it was the first time where somebody in that sort of position had considered, well, what would the impact on you, or do you realize the impact on you if you were to actually lose money, if something happened, like if I got the program back, and then w.s.i.b wanted to change the amount that they felt I could earn, and that would decrease the amount that I do earn, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, it was interesting that he thought of that, because or whoever did, and if you just spoke for them, because I've struggled with this since since the initial injury and when I needed to go on short-term leave from work. During those times, I lost so much money. And then, of course, I suffered poverty later on, living in various conditions and circumstances. So, not once did anybody give a damn or consider how I might be affected by that in any... It didn't seem that way. And so that was just an interesting question. And even though they'll still be mulling it over, and 3 votes, and if 2 say no and 1 says yes, it's a no. The fact that was even brought up meant that the idea of granting it on some conditions must have crossed their mind. So that's a good thing. But don't get your hopes up, anybody, because often even when I've gotten a really positive reaction or something, that's not how it comes back. But this is supposed to be independent panel, separate from the people who have been denying me for years. So let's hope that they have a fresh perspective on the actual evidence, that where even it was stated by the board that they should give the entitlement by their own doctors. So I don't know. Anyway, that's one comment down. Sorry, guys. The hearing was, I sound so whatever talking about it, but it was really difficult. Prior to, I had so many nightmares during the day, and certainly my emotions everywhere, and it was so hard during the thing to talk about it or to hear. The worst part for me was when my rep was going over the facts, and I'm hearing my life. Like, I'm hearing about me that was in my 20s, like clinically talking about my multiple suicide attempts. I mean, I'm hearing about that, and I'm not in that mind frame anymore. I'm not in that. Like, that ended. The last time was early Toronto, and I totally learned my lesson. And I realized if I'm not gonna go full out, then don't even bother. Just as Dorothy Parker said, you may as well live. So, and now I'm totally in the mind frame of, not saying I don't struggle, and that I'm not scared. Like, I'm in a situation where I've got more support, and I've got more stability. But after living a certain way for so long, you don't count on anything or anyone. So there's always that fear. But I'm certainly feeling I certainly feel a lot better, and I also know that even if things got bad, I know I would survive it because I have. That sounds weird. Somebody... Yeah, I don't remember what dream I had, and I didn't re-listen to my vlog, but S.A. Murray, yeah, all your names may be changed by the time my vlog goes up, because people sometimes change their names. Not particularly this person, but just, people change things about their names. Anyway, some compensation would be nice. Here's to hoping something positive will come out of it all. Okay, thanks. Yeah, of course compensation would be nice. I mean, yeah. Financially, I would really appreciate that. I would really appreciate... It could never make up for all that I lost, financially or in other ways. But, yeah, it would help, and I wouldn't mind some autonomy. But I'm going to carry on anyway. So I think something positive already has come out of it, because I made it. I have an idea that I'm going to put together a book that hopefully can help other people or they're going through this, what not to do. And just probably the way I can relate, like, I can relate to people who struggle with poverty or mental illness or injuries or injustice or homelessness or situations of where you have to make decisions that are difficult that most people wouldn't get. They wouldn't understand why you would have to think that way or do that instead of this, because, or just choices that have to be made. This is a life that you know, this is off topic, but I have a friend that still works for that company, and I know the health thing. I couldn't obviously work there, but she's making now not far from a big amount of money for a small town job or a big city job now at this point in this economic time. Because I know somebody who now has a minimum wage job plus benefits. Well, if I was still working for that job, I would have a lot more than that. And back when I was terminated and put into the w.s.i.b program, I was making about just under $15 an hour plus benefits. Now, here in Canada, minimum wage is like just over $10, and that's when it went up. And I'd be lucky if I could get that. So I don't know where I was going with that thought, except that, you know what, I did exactly what I did during the hearing, is where I totally forgot what the question or what I was originally talking about, and went on some tangent. And it's not to say that I don't do that normally, but to completely go and completely forget. Sorry. Here's hoping something positive will come out of it all. Something positive already did, is what I mean. Is that I learned a lot. And yeah, at a younger age, I was making a lot more money, and I never, there's where I was going. I wouldn't have understood entirely. Even though I was into activism, and I supported causes, and I thought I was a compassionate person, I still never would have got it. I never would have totally got it. I never would have totally understood. So something came out of it. Victoria commented on the video and said, "Hi, Victoria. The dreams are a metaphor reflecting the path that you're on for 2 more weeks." I believe so too. Like, I don't remember the dream now because I don't remember which specific dream. I dream every single freaking night, or if I've had a crash during the day, or I'm always having nightmares and dreams, and I generally remember them all on a daily basis. It's part of, I think, most people that are, I just, but yeah, I often think that, I know it's just brain synapses, blah, 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 but I've often seen it, like, tell me exactly what's going on, or be reflective of things. We seek justice, this is part of the comment. Sometimes we find it, sometimes it eludes us, but we remain a cog in the wheel. And if it doesn't help us right now, it helps someone else further down the conga line. Exactly. What's important is that we stick up for ourselves and we don't compromise our integrity. Take that mountain of paperwork and craft an outline. Then it's done and right for the tribunal. Soon come. Yeah. Yeah, that outline idea I had was really inspiring. But it turned out it was the best thing that I didn't do it, because it wouldn't have been appropriate to the situation. It just kind of would have made me look, it was probably best I went genuine, as myself and answered as myself and stuck to um, their program. I wasn't quite aware of exactly how it would go. But yeah, justice, it can elude us. It's eluding a lot of people. And, we're very privileged in North America. We know it. We know that it's a lot worse in other places. Poverty, like extreme poverty, like starvation. Well, we have that over here now too. I mean, well, the whole commercials thing, kids covered in flies kind of thing. And famine and war and, gosh, a lot of stuff is happening everywhere. Well, we know that it can always be worse, but it can be pretty bad here too. And it's especially become worse for a lot of people that never expected that it would for them. One thing I've followed a lot on Twitter, which was kind of bad because it kind of made me feel like, yeah, I'm definitely screwed. I'm not going to win. But at the same time, I'm reading other people's thoughts on Twitter and such. Twitter's a big one, where if you use a hashtag and you follow a topic. I've read a lot of stuff on other people living in poverty, or that they have struggled with injuries or illness, and a lot of people are angry and scared and upset that justice isn't happening for them as well. And it's just it's heartbreaking. I see the anger, and I know we need to be angry at times to change, to make change, to create change, to get things in motion, but I can see it's so weird because for all the years that I was going through that, especially the anger, there was nobody listening. It was out into the void or into my paper journals or online or self-inflicted. The anger was taken out. But for people on, let's say, so many people on Twitter that I've seen, they're saying it and they're getting feedback back, or getting, there is a less alone in that there's people that can relate and there's connections, but there's still the reality of the fact that you're in your situation. So it's even more depressing because it's not like people can just always reach out and save you. Even if especially if they can relate, because they're probably in the same situation. So I don't know if I'm kind of relieved that I didn't go through the worst of it with being able to see the connection of so many people feeling the injustice, because I think I would have just gotten lost in it even more. I'm not being all zen about it. I rage. I feel sorrow and sadness. And I want to do stuff that I want there to be changes. But I don't see the extreme anger as being helpful when you're, I don't know. I guess it's because, well, depression is anger, right? Internalized. I don't know. I guess I'm not. Why am I passing judgment? I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying I'm not sure. It's frustrating and sad because you want to see. You hate that things are that way. I do. Anyway. We seek justice. I think a lot of people seek justice, and why shouldn't we? Because think about it. I mean, we recently had something happen where some guy was writing some politician was writing off his something they shouldn't have, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Oops, slap on the wrist, sorry, and he's fined. But if you're, let's say, on social assistance, and you mess up, you can never get it. And you're, you know, fraud, and for life you are banned. And you're in a situation where if you're on assistance, you're already like, how you're surviving is next to impossible because you're not given enough for housing, and food and necessities, and you're really not. If you check the numbers, you can't survive on it without something else. So it's just, there's an unfair thing. So there's no justice there, and that's making people further more angry. But yeah, it's important we stick up for ourselves. I will do something with the mountain of paperwork. In fact, my representative is going to send me, after the decision, her mountain of paperwork that she used, which is much more organized in certain ways, and send it to me because she sees a writer in me as well, because I shared with her that blog entry that I shared with you guys, that I linked in that video, after that, you know, underneath that video, and she read it, and she sees that in me too. So she's sending that to me, or she says she will, and I'm going to use that as part of my, I'm gonna extract from that too. I hope she sends me her highlighted copy, because it'd be neat to see what she found relevant to fighting, as well, for my claim. So I will do something with that. I just didn't do it at the hearing. By the way, I really appreciated the time you guys took to comment. I didn't comment back because I suck at commenting back all the time. Now this is to a other video, Slow-Mo Oh No and Flophouse Poodle, who I have a crush on. A girl crush, don't worry. Sorry. Who doesn't, right? Said, hope February goes fast. And it did. It's now March 1st. Actually, February, I don't think it went fast. It did go fast. You know what? I had a few things that kept busy for myself in February. I did the daily writing challenge of 750 words minimum a day, 750words.com, which was a free site for years and is going to turn into a pay site soon. But I used that in February, and I wrote every single day. I met the word goal. I didn't write freaking ingenious stuff because I was often leaving it until 11 o'clock at night or whatever. But, and I was forcing myself to write. But the fact is, I created a habit. I wrote every day for the month of February, and that was good, and that helped it go fast. That was one of my things. And I continued my self-portrait project that, 365 days, which you can find on Flickr, that thousands and thousands and thousands of people do. Well, this is not my first attempt at it, but this is the first attempt that I've completed 2 straight months in a row. I've done January and February every single day. I've done a crappy self-portrait photo. So that helped. What am I going to do in March? March is see a psychiatrist and get back on the Wii Fit and continue writing and photoing. And I would like to vlog more. And basically I just want to keep it together because I do fear that I might I'm fearful of some of the residue of this whole thing that's happened, the whole tribunal thing, because I'll tell you more later after. I'll get back to you about that. And River Vlogger said, sounds like an intense period ahead of you. As intimidating as it seems, you do seem to have a handle on it, and that counts self-doubt that moves through your thoughts. It's good to see another vlog from you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about the not vlogging. December 1st, I moved. I left Toronto, the beaches. I loved the beaches in Toronto, and I moved back to my hometown. Mixtures of feelings. For one thing, I'm an agoraphobic recluse. Not all the time. I can go out with somebody, or there's those rare moments when I don't know. It takes a lot. I do love events, and my Flickr photos show, and I've taken videos at big events. But I kind of need like an escort or a companion, like Doctor Who. I need a companion. Better off. That sounds really bizarre, but it wouldn't be eccentric if I was rich, because somebody would be with me, right? But for a poor person, I guess it's seen as weird. Anyway, where was I going with that? I have not shot really any video, because if I don't go outside, what am I videoing? That's where vlogging I should have been doing, but I didn't always feel like talking, because as I said, December was really tough. I missed Toronto like hell, but I also felt grateful being here. Like I'm living in a nice apartment in a building I lived in the last time I relocated back to St. Thomas. So when the LMR process with w.s.i.b initially started. So it's kind of like it's all like, yeah. And like things are good, but you know, it's one of those things you lose, what you gain, and then dealing with just trying to, I you know, many doctor appointments, trying to take care of things. So January is, you know, like I said, I started the photo thing, and again, a daily thing, and then February I picked up the writing thing, and I'm basically just trying to like get but the reply to that comment, you do seem to have a handle on it. Honestly, I've lost my mind so many times. I can freak out before leaving the house. Like, I get really irritated and angry, and upset because I'm so anxious about going out, even if it's to something I want to do. So, it's like, I don't exactly have a handle on it, but I guess I show that I do a little bit more, because we don't all break down online, right? Although, I don't know, my blog, I've often looked quite a mess, but I think by the time I did hit this process, this appeal, I'm no longer counting on the outcome being in my favor, and that release stuff and making it. No, I was still a mess. I was a mess. Honestly, I was a mess. I'm still a mess. It's not done yet, but it'll be done, and that helps a lot. Once the decision letter arrives, they're done with me, unless they're not done with me. Then, I don't know, like, I'm a little nervous about that. Like, that'd be fantastic, but also scary, because then I'm still involved, but it could be fantastic because then I could have a chance. It's so kaboom. Okay, next comment. I have no idea what this screen is doing. Al the Doctor Who. I mentioned Doctor Who just a few seconds ago. I love Doctor Who. I know Tom Baker was my doctor when I was a kid, and my dad goes on about Tom Baker, but I watched the reboot, you know, and I really love keeping up with the current Doctor Who series. I think it's really good. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah. I have some Doctor Who buttons, and I have some stuff Doctor Who related. I like Doctor Who. I'm having happy thoughts just about Doctor Who. It's always nice to hear what people have to say. For me, it's important because that's the only way I can know a person. Oh, you're the perfect blogger because you say exactly what's... Oh, thank you. I feel a little shy reading this one out because it's like, it's really nice. It's really sweet. And I can range from what? That's all. Don't worry about keeping up a pace. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, like you said, staying in the house is no good all around. Yeah, I get a lot of ideas walking around outside. Yeah, you know what? I know from having read so many books, too. And from just, we know it's... I don't mean, like, health books. I mean, I read a lot of, diaries and journals and, letters, like, collected, like, in books. And if you read anything by a writer who's giving you advice, all of them suggest going for walks because it's the best thing for your health and for ideas and for your clearing your head. And I know it. I used to be someone who enjoyed going for walks. But when you have an issue with going out your front door of your apartment or wherever you are, walks can be, I'm still working on the going outside thing. I do it sometimes. I did it this morning, getting rent. But I'm not going out alone. That's something, I really wanted to make that March's thing. I've had these things like January's photos, February's writing, and I was going to make March school, actually. I was going to go to, back to like this adult high school, and take a course for a month, a couple courses, but I realized that I wasn't ready to make that commitment because I knew I couldn't go out the door every day, and that was tough because I want to. That's still something I'm working on. That I wish I could say I was doing better. Let's see how things progress with time. Maybe an adjustment in medication will help with that. I'm hoping so because basically with this kind of panic disorder that is pretty intense, I don't know because I'm trying different things. But anyway, thank you for the kind words you said that I didn't. Oh, they're on the thing. That means so much to me. Always when people are nice to me. I always like when people are nice to me, I'm crazy like that. Anyway. Victoria. Hi again. I showed my teeth. That's awful. I hate my smile. I need dental work like you don't even know. Anyway. Golden one. It will feel strange to be over, no matter the outcome. You'll feel like a forever. That's true. Yeah. The best is yet to be. We just don't see that when we are in the middle of a shitstorm. I know. You're so right. You're so right. And I didn't even see that years ago. I didn't see that things could get better. And that's unfortunate. Things can always get better. Or change. Things always change. So eventually things are cyclic. So it will feel strange when it's over. Like, in a way, it's over. As in, I've done my part in the process. It's over. But it's not over until the decision arrives. And then it'll be over. But yeah, it will feel strange. No matter what the outcome is. Yeah, it's true. It feels strange already, but you know what has been very helpful is that my mindset is switching to, that's great that that my whole adult life has been, belonged to this whole thing. But, I want to focus on how much I've been able to do or what I've done or how I've developed my interests or ideas or thoughts, what I've been able to accomplish despite that. And even separate it even further and go, I am still, that is a part of who I am, and a big part. But there's all sorts of other things that are part of me, you know? And I can't, what that process has done, what they do is try to make me this. They try to say that I'm this or that. Like, for instance, trying to say that it's all my childhood's fault, or that it's all that I'm, or when they're doing the DSM-IV access, you know, if you've ever been psychologically assessed, or you do have depression or whatever, you know, they list these things. I'm not that. Even if I have mentioned my anxiety or agoraphobia or anything a lot, that is not, though, all I am. I mean, I write, I blog, I vlog, I take photos, I love people, like I've been a lover. I swear I'm not going to swear into the joke. I'm not going to go into the Joker by Steve Miller Band now. But you know what I mean? Like, if we define ourselves by one single thing, or aspect of ourselves, how limiting is that? That's extremely limiting. At the same time, if we don't figure out a few of those, that thing, or a few of those things that are such a big part of what we want to feel defines us, then that's sad too. So I guess it's about figuring all that out, which I guess you do as you get older, which that's what's happening to me. And then, aha! See, I was right. S.A. Polo to slow-mo. Oh no. See, somebody changed their name. Thanks for the info. I will definitely check them out. Well, I probably mentioned a band. I wonder what band I mentioned. I don't know. I know that, I'm listening to, lately now, I'm listening still to a lot of Graydon James and the Young Novelists. And I'm listening to the Strumbellas still a lot. Oh my gosh, I love that album. The Father and the Huntsman. Get it on iTunes now. Seriously, you'll love it. It's really good. It's beautiful. Yeah, I love music. I'm listening to music all the time. All the time. And that's why I don't read as much. You know, this vlog is just going to be 30 hours long, okay? When I was younger, I could read anywhere, anytime, anyhow, whatever. It didn't matter what was going on around me. Now I like silence when I'm reading, right? And that's too bad, because I don't get to listen to music and read at the same time. And I can't read if somebody's watching a movie around me. I can't. So I don't read as well, as much, or as well as I used to. I know I can lose myself in a book, but I just can't do it the same way. I don't know why. I mean, I can technically read while I'm out somewhere and you're using it to distract yourself, but that's so strange. I'm not really making sense. Felt like I had something important to say about reading, but I don't. Except that I really want to read more. I really want to read more. And I have great books that are waiting for me. But I also like listening and want to listen to music. And I can't do both at the same time. Whereas, as I was saying, there was a time when I probably could have. Maybe it's because a lot of the music that I'm enjoying, I really like the lyrics. And if I'm getting into the listening and getting into the lyrics, that's putting me into that story. And however it connects or relates to me. And that makes it difficult to go into the story of whatever I'm reading. So I've probably missed comments, but I'm not going to go any further back. But I do appreciate comments. Who doesn't? I like it when people say nice things about me. Boy, I'm a deep thinker. I made this video even though I feel very self-conscious about my teeth, which I really hope that there's no blood this morning. I must have been right before the thing. Yeah, like that comment by River Vlogger about keeping it whole, seeming like I have it together during it or whatever. I don't know, whatever I said. I actually was gritting my teeth so much during the night, which I'm used to having a partner that would be aware of that and like would be like, you're grinding your teeth when I'm really stressed, but I don't have that right now. And so not only would my jaw hurt, but I would have blood in the morning in my mouth. It's probably age and not the best of, you know, but it's also like the pressure put down on these aging teeth. I know that sounds graphic, and it's something I felt too embarrassed to write about on my blog, to say, every morning I brush my teeth like 2 or 3 times, so for when the blood stops. It's not about gum. Like, it's not like, it's like I wake up, like there'd be blood on my pillow. And, it won't happen the rest of the day, and I'm fine, and whether I'm eating or brushing my teeth or whatever is going on, you know, brushing my teeth as normal, often, yeah, that's disturbing, and I don't know why I didn't write about it, but I'm telling it to you guys. Maybe it's because I feel self-conscious and feel like you would probably see it, which I don't know if you can or not. Oh my god, yeah, I'm at an hour. And I just flicked back, and I saw that I was in a very unflattering sort of position. You're welcome. If I were you, this is just my recommendation. If I were you and you were really bored doing something, but you wanted to hear this vlog, but you didn't want to look at me or something, I would press play and walk away, or like put it in the back browser but let it still play, so you don't have to look at me, because it's kind of weird. Maybe I'll do some strange effect to the video, trip you out a little bit. Water is good. Plastic bottles are bad. Okay, yeah, I seem to have stopped talking. Well, until I started talking again, so. I'm still here. I came back from Toronto. And, oh, I was going to tell you. While I was in Toronto, I had the chance, I had the hours before my train was going to leave, where I could have gone back to the beaches. I could have gone to Willow Pier. I could have taken photos. I could have had good sushi. Gone to my old Starbucks. But after I got out of the tribunal, I had not only a bad headache, but I was emotionally, mentally spent. And I did not want to put going back to the neighborhood that I just lived in up until December 1st, that I loved and didn't want to leave. So I didn't want to deal with the emotions of that on top of what I had just been through, if that makes any sense. You'd think, I know with some people health-wise, they would think, well, wouldn't that make you happy? Go back to where you love, say hi to some people who remember you and take pictures of all that great area and walk about and stuff. But I just didn't know how I would react, and I wanted to take care of myself that way. So instead, I spent those hours sitting in the train station, because I didn't even really want to walk around, because the bag I brought was heavy, and I was just so tired. But I'm going back to Toronto to visit, and I still want to go to the music festival and Nuit Blanche and anything I can, because despite moving back to a small place, like a small area, I feel like there's more possibilities to go places. Ain't it funny? I come back here and I'm writing more, doing photography. Not photography like a photographer, but I'm certainly expressing myself more creatively, more often, or consistently. And isn't that interesting? Maybe the whole idea of I don't know. It's just happening. So, like I said, goods and bads to things. Yeah, I should have probably ended this vlog a while ago. 55 minutes on my counter right now. I could go another 5 minutes. This could be an hour show. I'm kidding. I'm gonna turn this off now.